We have to call this what it is: indoctrination.
This is Olivia.
I seriously fell asleep
There
on
she
that.
has yet to.
This is going to be a problem for this one. So, folks, I'm sorry for the content. It's going to be mostly me talking because Candy is in and out of consciousness.
I did. I literally fell asleep for a second.
Oh, man.
I know this is bad. I apologize. I'm so tired. I do not know what's going on.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Can.
And this is the Dan and Can podcast. Welcome back, friends. And for some of you, welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming by and giving us a little visit. Say hi. How do you? And we're going to continue on our path here as we're in a sweltering heat wave. It's warm as shit outside.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. You're pulling on the cords.
I'm just fiddling, as I do.
Yes. Well, do that on the roof.
I'm not a fiddler.
You can be fiddler on the roof. Remember when Trump was on the White House roof looking out at something and yelling at the reporters?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he's being interviewed?
Forgot about that. That was one of the many things he's done.
Some people started calling him Biddler on the roof.
Oh, people.
You gotta love the ingenuity of
People come up with some
the people.
funny stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So got that going for us, which is nice. But last week, do you remember what we talked about?
We're done with AI.
Yes.
I got to be honest. I have no clue what we talked about last week.
We were talking about separation.
Ah, yeah.
Yes, the Offspring song. You gotta keep them separated.
Hey! Let me just stop. That's all we got.
That's all we got right now. But yeah, we talked about separation and how
Separation of what?
people
Where we feel like we are like these. We are kind of in this vacuum where what I do it only affects me. It doesn't affect the world around me. That kind of,
it's and we'll clarify this a little more today on what the separation, how the next step in this doing. It's the power of bees keeping us against each other and pitting us, basically forming us into factions.
So division more than separation.
Yeah, tribalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, division. That's what we used last week, not separation. So it's a tribalism, and my tribe's going to be better than yours. And it's natural. We talked about this a little bit last week, too. It's a natural thing because it's our basic instinct of survivalism. So if I'm in this tribe of people that we align and agree with it, we want to make sure we have enough of everything to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So if these people are stealing from the general thing, or not stealing, but taking from the same source of food, well, then we're going to start getting worried that there's not going to be enough food for my tribe. So we have to go against these people, that type of thing.
Yeah. And I would say, like, just listening to you describe it right now, it's built on the assumption that there's not enough of lack.
Yes.
It's built on, and our ancestors, that makes sense because they didn't know of the whole world. They didn't know how things grow. They didn't know that. Just like you have these berries and they're going to run out, right? And so like, let's protect them from other people like taking them. So, I mean, that's what it comes from the idea that there's just not enough. And the earth is abundance in what it makes.
And there's other aspects of it too, where it's, well, they're going to make me live different than I want to live. They're going to change everything, which is kind of what we're going to get into today. Because from that division that gets created, and there's people that get in control and start pushing this division, and it's me versus them mentality, because now I can control this group, and then this group will just be angry at me, and then this group gets angry, and then they fight each other, and I can do whatever I want. I can bilk the people for all the money I want with all the insider trade and everything I do.
It's kind of like if you were in an argument with somebody and a third person comes in and they chime in, right? And the person that you were arguing with and you were feeling a lot of tension with them, now they turn on the person and you're kind of a little bit relieved that you can kind of slink out of the picture, right? Because Now they're fighting, they're going at it with each other, and the pressure's off of you, and now you can go do what you want. The people in power would be like that person that first you'd be mad at them, and then they turn it so that or maybe that they point the finger, hey, that's the problem. And so now these two are fighting, and they are like, okay, now I can do it.
And that's what we're going to look into today, is because once we get this division and this tribalism and this just factions of people and they're against each other, these people start pouring gasoline onto the fire. And a lot of it, and we're going to go over a bunch of examples of this, is just misrepresentation of facts, right? So, ready to jump into some of this stuff? All right. I've cultivated some videos.
I see some videos over there that I'm like curious about, but I don't know if I want to watch.
This is one where Candy may get angry today a couple times.
That's happened lots of times. So
yeah, that's what I do. Mm-hmm. I get her all riled up. See, because that's the thing. Little insight into us. We've been together for 30 years. We've been together, right? We're gonna be married 28 here, 29. Here.
We'll be 29 next month.
So over that time, I've learned that I have to be careful on information shared with you.
Excuse me?
Because of your empathy, your empath.
Okay. I was going to say, are you hiding things from me?
No. It's if I hear a story of like a small child getting harmed or unalived on an accident or something, I'm not going to share that news story with you because you're going to jump into the feelings of that mother.
Yeah.
And it's going to bring you down, and you're going to wear that, and you're going to actually be in that and experience that, even though you have no clue who these people are.
I struggle with the separation in that aspect, yes, sometimes, yeah.
Or if I tell you about something bad that happened to an elderly person, you're going to feel that. So I've learned, okay, that's an interesting story, but it's not one that needs to be shared in general conversation with Candy because it doesn't pertain to anything. And we'll just leave that one out there in the ethos. And
so have you heard some bad stories about something?
I hear them every day when I watch the news. So,
oh, yeah, probably keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Unless I need to know.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're going to break down some of them walls and look into a couple things here. So let me see which one I want to go with first. Well, should we start?
Don't start super heavy.
No. Oh, we got to start. All right, let's go. There's a couple different areas in this that we're going to focus on, and it's going to be definitely one-sided. I know we do this because it's our damn show, and we can decide what videos we want to put out. But this is common on both sides of the aisle and spectrums of everything, that misrepresentation gets put out there. So let's go to an old newsreel and learn.
Nobody in his or her right mind would willingly sacrifice freedom for the iron discipline of a regimented state. It can't allow individual freedom. In a free economy, we are all each other's customers.
Okay, so we've already started off with, so this is obviously from the 40s or 50s when the Red Scare's going on with communism in Russia. Mm-hmm. So we're pitting this against her. We don't want this rigid, ironclad state discipline. We like the freedom to do whatever we want and rely on each other, right? Because that's how capitalism works, right, Can? We just take care of each other. We're each other's customers. When I spend money, I'm buying it from you and you get all that money. No one else in big corporation or anything's getting it. This is a wonderful system that we have.
Let's look straight into this one. Let's talk about how to lose what we have and what that would mean to you.
We've already amended the Constitution dozens of times. Let's throw it away for a master plan.
Let the people have full employment and full security.
But what price freedom? You talk about full security, full employment. Why, you can have that in a penitentiary. Government can't control everything without controlling me.
Under a master plan, there would only be one plan. With just one plan, there wouldn't be any room for a mistake.
And every man, woman, and child would suffer.
Wait a minute. For or against the master state?
Okay, so there's language being used here. You got to put yourself into this time frame. Just coming out of World War II, everything's building up. You have the tension between here. Our good friend Adolphus from Germany used master race a lot.
Did he?
And
I don't
stuff
remember.
like that. So this master plan is kind of playing off these words of and trying to stir it up.
It's also, I've noticed that it's just one or the other.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
either
no
everybody,
nuance.
like there's employment for everyone or there's
And
not.
you'll notice a commonality between all these videos we watch today. There is no nuance whatsoever.
No,
it's
just
extreme,
one or the other,
black
and you
and
pick.
white. Yeah, on everything.
To the master plan. Thank you and good night. What do you think?
I'm for it. I'm tired of being kicked around.
I think it sounds wonderful. Just think what that means.
Full security. I'm going to vote for it.
Well, I am, that's for sure.
There's the smart white
I
guy.
guess I will too.
What are you yapping about? You voted for it.
Of course, it would never happen this way. Real freedoms are
Oh, he's a
equal
master
up
stater.
a little at a time, while government controls are slipped on, while the real power is collected into a few hands. Where government is not limited, no man is free.
That's what we're in.
Continue. I was going with the same thought.
Okay.
So
Interesting. So basically, late stage capitalism is very similar to.
yeah, everything's
what they're
consolidated
calling-
into the control of
I'm
a
assuming
few.
they're saying this is.
They're trying to
It's
say
fascism, I guess. But
Yeah.
were they saying it's fascism in
no,
here, or
they're
are they
saying
saying it's
they're going
communism?
against communism here.
So they're very similar to each
Yeah.
other.
So yeah, this video would be an anti-fascist video for today, because there's only a few people that control most of the wealth in the country, and a few elect people that control most of the power in the government, and the people be damned. They don't have zero representation whatsoever.
You do hear that line too. What are you complaining about? You voted for it,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's not the people in charge of it that are necessarily saying it. It's actually sometimes
Yeah.
left-leaning people saying, like, you don't get, even though everybody's complaining about it.
Change limited government to unlimited government, and our rights would be only what the master planners say they are. No longer the servant of the people, government would be the master of the people. That's the way to change what we have, take all power and all freedoms away from the people, and collect everything into the hands of one small group with absolute power. But, and think about this, we would have the same manpower, the same brains and muscles we had before, but without our present incentives and opportunities. And that would change something else.
So that's all of that one, which I find it very ironic, because it could be played into today in modern America with
Yeah.
how things are going right now. So we actually did it. We put ourselves in this because,
But we followed what they said would lead to freedom,
yeah,
and it led to
it's because people bought it hook, line, and sinker, which is some of the problem
and
with
because
this.
people don't understand, you need some security.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need full security, but you need some safety nets
Yes.
so that you're not completely crushed by medical expenses or you can't find housing or whatever. Like, but they're making it sound like you either have all of your like complete security where you're like, yes, you get to live, you're going to have things taken care of for you, but you're actually just a complete servant to the state, right? Or you have all freedom and sorry, you're screwed. There's no security for you whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's so much space between those two.
Yeah. And it's always been this way since America was formed. Hamilton and some of his cohorts were Federalist. They wanted they wanted to reestablish a monarchy, but a monarchy that they were in
So
control
they wanted to be the new monarchs.
And the monarchs were going to be the upper class, the elites,
Okay.
that were going to control everything, and everything was going to go through them. And everyone else doesn't matter. We'll tax the shit out of
Is
them.
that kind of what they're trying to create today?
Yes. It's been...
So it's kind of federal.
They're
Would you
following
call
what
it
the founding
federalist?
fathers were putting out in the first 8 years of the country under
Now,
Washington.
a lot of these people do like Andrew Is it Andrew Jackson that was doing that?
Yeah, they like Jackson. They like Hamilton.
Oh, Hamilton.
And Hamilton was an extreme federalist. He was big on government control, government aspect, so that the government could buffer responsibility of business and the wealthy and exploit the
common man. I don't see how anybody could be that way. I feel like you'd feel like a terrible person, but I guess not.
But when you are the wealthy,
I don't care. I don't care how much money we have. I would feel like I would still think of people as like equal to me. They're not less than me.
That's why you're poor. You ain't got the mindset. You ain't a shark.
Oh. Okay.
You're beta. You're not no alpha. You got to get out there and get your nut. Rise and grind, Can. Rise and grind.
You done?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's not ironic that this is actually what we came into, where the power and the wealth is all consolidated to a select small group. And it's not the first time this has happened. You had this with the railroads coming up and the land barons and railroad barons and the industrialists when the Industrial Revolution came about. You had anti-monopoly things come into play to kind of break this all up because capitalism started going to this point, and then people are like, all right, you know, in the business, be like, we got a way to fix this. Let's just agree that we're all going to sell this shit for 10 times the cost of it. We'll make a shit ton of money.
They'll buy it.
And they have to buy it. And
they're so dependent on it that we've got them to the point where they're so dependent on it. They'll buy it. We can up the prices. We'll all make more money.
So you had antitrust, anti-monopoly.
Especially when you only have a few companies that are actually own everything.
Yeah.
It just looks like tons of companies.
Yeah. They want to abolish anything like what FDR had set up with the work. What was it? TWA. Not TWA. WTA.
Workers.
I can't. Anyways, but when he set up all the programs to help benefit
like when they built
people,
the parks and the roads,
and it was taxing the rich and everything else like that. You see that with Madami now, and some of these other socialists that are starting to get some power or somewhat they're running on.
A lot of conservatives do not like this guy at all.
No, because he's doing he balanced the budget and he balanced it on the back of the rich instead of the poor, and he's doing simple things like, all right, if you own more than one property, you're going to pay 4 times the tax on the other 2 if you own 3 properties, houses. Okay, 1, you'll pay your standard tax.
Just like everybody else.
But if you own multiples.
And that's where the security is. Everybody's at this level, right?
The other 2, you're going to pay extra tax on
and
it.
You can get more, but you'll pay a little bit more,
Yeah. So it's taking care of the people that have multiple dwellings for themselves. It's also going with people that are buying up all these houses for to gouge people for rentals or to do Airbnbs and stuff like that. All right, that's fine, you can have it, but there's going to be an extra cost on you because that's what it is, which makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going to have all these properties. Well, you're going to pay a little bit more for it when people can't even afford one house. You're buying 4, you can pay the extra taxes on it. So, but we're in that swing again where it's getting consolidated down. So something needs to come in and just break it all up again and say, no, this is not how we're going to do it. We need to redistribute the wealth and put it out. So hopefully something comes without a dramatic thing like the Great Depression where it forced the hand to be done there because of what was going on in the business world. Mm. So let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's listen to old Jimmy Carr talking about a couple different things here.
Capitalism is a terrible system apart from all the fucking others. A bunch of young people seem to have fallen in love with communism again. The fuck is going on? Communism's a great idea, wrong species. The thing about capitalism is it kind of leans into what we are. We're quite self-interested. It works. What's your name?
My name's Sam.
What do you do, Sam?
Define communism for me.
Define communism? Yes. From each according to their abilities to each according to their needs.
Of course he's not going to be explaining that.
It just doesn't scale. Everyone is a communist. All of you are communists with your family. If you've got kids, you're a fucking communist at home. Each according to their needs, you take care of them. Of course you do. And as things get white in your local community, you might be a socialist. Try and help everyone out. And then you get up to nation state level and you go, yeah, fuck those guys. There's always going to be an in-group preference. I'm sorry, but you human beings, unlucky. The problem with American communism, which is, woke, is better described as American Marxism. And what it is instead of trying to redistribute wealth, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to want to do, they want to redistribute status. And that is a recipe for fucking madness. Capitalism is a terrible system.
What does he mean by that? And better make it interesting because I'm starting to fall asleep.
Oh, geez. We've already got her going. So they're trying to, so what I think he's trying to imply there is saying that, okay, wealth is one thing, which is an admirable thing to go after, but status.
To want to redistribute it. It's so clogged up with the 1%. Like, let's push it back down.
Redistributing status is, it sounds good on paper of, okay, let's make everybody equal. So your status in life is going to be equal. And that sounds good. And there's some legitimacy to it, but it's not very practical because you have to go on an individual basis with each individual. So to say, oh, let's do status and all LGBTQ is equal with anyone else in this country, that sounds wonderful. But what does that mean for each individual LGBTQ and non-queer community person? Should they all be on the same status, or if they stepped out and did this or that?
Status of what?
Just status of life, or what you're in.
Of course they're all equal. Why wouldn't they be?
Well, technically they're not.
I think, yes, they are.
They can't get married in some states.
Well, they're still equal in status. I mean, like...
Well, that's what he's talking. He's talking about the status of being able to achieve and get everything else. So if you're not equal, if you're not able to get married in a state because of who you love, you're not equal status with a straight person.
Okay, that's wrong, though. Why can't we fix that?
It is, but if you start doing that across the board with everyone and saying, all right, let's do that, then you run into issues with, okay, but this straight guy's a pedophile. So do we have equal status there? No, it eliminates nuance in it. And you need to have nuance.
I see that. But that, first of all, that comparison right there is a problem that people do with LGBTQ. Then they jump right into pedophilia like that.
Yeah, that's why I said straight person.
Okay. No, I know. But they say, but they'll say like, if we let, women marry women, then all of a sudden we got to let, where's the line drawn? Men can be wearing boys.
See, and this is the point we're getting at today. Because I heard this argument, well, if you let men marry men, then all of a sudden you're going to be able to allow a man to marry a horse. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Okay, but isn't that kind of what you're saying? Like, that's why they won't, that's why is that what he's saying? This doesn't make sense. So. Something's not making sense.
I think so. I mean, I'd probably have to listen a little more to the clip to see where he's actually going, but that's my assumption of where he was going. You have to have nuance. You have to have common sense. You have to have it in there. You just can't blanket say it. And communism wants to blanket say, everyone, boom, on here. You have to have some nuance to be able to.
Okay, so
in common sense.
In that situation, communism is not going to say everybody. So communism would say anybody can get married. Or is that all the way to the left?
No, he's trying to say that that's what America's trying to do is instead of doing communism on an economic and political thing, they were trying to do it as a status thing.
Okay.
So he says, and it's not meant to be a status thing. It's an economic policy. It's a way to run it.
Because if you do it that way, you run into these issues of like, well, where's the line? Because it's not clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't make a clear line because there's so much differences between people and whatnot.
Yeah. So.
Well, I would say, like, just to stop on that just for a second, when it comes to like the marriage issue in evangelical Christianity, that is not the reason that they would say, LGBTQ people shouldn't marry. They aren't doing it for the reason of, we just need to keep it like man and woman because economically it's clearer. There's a clearer line. It's like, this is this, even though you could say any adult humans can't. I think that would be a clear line. Yeah. But they didn't want to shift that line for that reason. Their reasoning is because they think it's a sin.
Yeah. And it's ungodly.
And, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
So what this is the old communism and socialism and capitalism debate that's going on currently in our society here in America.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear people like our fearless leader sitting here saying socialism is wrong, it never works, it's all. Well, one, they're comparing socialism to communism, and they're two separate things. Communism is a offshoot of socialism, a more extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And basically in communism, everything goes and funneled through the state. But what happens, as you've seen in Russia and you saw in China and you saw in all these other communist states, is that all the wealth, all the product, everything comes into the state, and the state redistributes it out as seen fit per needs and abilities in the country. But what happens is that it comes in and then they take off the top. And they're going to collect all this. And like, well, we need to have this. We're the leaders, so we got to eat a little bit better. So we're going to get all the steak first and get all this. And then it lets filter down. So what gets distributed out is all the potatoes and, whatnot. Yeah, just whatever's left over to go out. So it doesn't get an actual redistribution.
It doesn't even matter if it's like, I remember my grandma getting commodities. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it was like not even real cheese. And
no. Yeah, it's government cheese.
Yeah.
So they're trying to equate this all social existence like this. First of all, it's not. And it's a false narrative that gets put out. This is not, and they're trying to claim that Mamdani is this communist. He's not a communist. No. He's a socialist Democrat. And they're saying, well, they can't see the difference in this. They hear socialist and they're like, oh, all of a sudden now it's Russia again. It's North Korea. It's China. It's not. What he's doing is what's called a mixed bag, where it's some capitalism and some socialism, and he mixes it together and tries to make a soup out of it that is going to work. And he's doing it so far.
It takes a lot more skill.
Yeah.
And a lot more thought, right? Then you got to understand some nuance.
So you look at that example of thing, and you see that it is extremely successful in areas and countries in the world, especially in the Nordic states that are more of this mixed bag socialism. Healthcare is provided for 100%. College and schooling is provided 100%. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's a heavier tax. It is, but you also have a lot of burdens lifted off of you that you don't have to worry about anymore. And you have that security of, I can do whatever they want. But they still have billionaires and millionaires in those countries because they have a free market enterprise. They're able to go out and achieve whatever they want. They have big companies like IKEA and Nokia and these things that these people are making tons of money.
You can start up a job, like a business like we've done or something. Like you can just do that on your own.
You can do that on your own, make as much money as you want.
And the tax changes as you make
It's going to
more.
change. And honestly, I heard a podcast recently on it. It's not much different than the American tax rates for the rich people. They just are paying, a lot in to get the other things paid for. So then
because,
it's just taken care of.
3% on $1 billion is a lot more money than 3% on 30,000.
Yeah. And their equivalency to Social Security is, all right, you retire and you have enough to be subsidized for the rest of your life type thing. And it works. And there's a reason why these people are the happiest people in the world year after year after year. And America doesn't crack the top 10 ever, is because they don't have the stress of worrying about, I can't go to the doctor today because this may be something serious. I got a chest pain. I don't want to know that I have heart issues and that I'm going to have to get a bypass. It's just cheaper not to worry about it and hope that if I eat a couple chicken sandwiches or chicken breast here, it'll clear itself up and pass through.
That would be the choice that I'd run for to clear it up. But
but
but yeah,
you get in that mindset. We've been in there. You walked on a broken leg for a week and a half, 10 days, whatever, because it's like, no, this is going to heal on its own. It's just a sprain. And then it's like, oh no, you snapped that in a couple places and you need major surgery, which ended up costing us a lot of money. And that was the fear was, oh shit, now we got to worry about this bill. We were able to take care of it luckily enough, but some people aren't. And that just destroys them. And if in our situation that was me, and then I had to miss work, being the main provider right now for us, that would have put us in a horrible spot to try to dig out of. So
I mean, and it did affect us financially too, because
yeah, it did. But if you don't worry about it, how much more is your happiness level going to rise? How much is your stress level going to drop? Because you don't have to worry. Okay, oh, I did something to my leg. Can you check it out? Oh yeah, it's broke. Okay, we'll go in and fix it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, is taken care of.
Okay, I'll be out of work, but maybe they'll supply some of our needs during this time, whatever. Yeah.
So you lose all that. That's why they're happier in there. But it's a mixed bag. They're still able to go out and make whatever they want to make, run whatever business they want to run, but they're getting everything provided for them as a basic needs to them coming out. And that's the misinterpretation here. And this is what constantly, and we're seeing it getting pushed right now again. And it's pushed onto these people, and these people are like, yeah, these people suck. We need to run that guy out of New York, and we can't have all these socialist Democrats running things. It's going to be horrible. And it's like, you people arguing this are the ones that would benefit most from it.
Yeah,
you're voting against your own interest.
Yeah.
Because the capitalism that's been presented in America is a pipe dream.
Well, it's like go ahead.
The people that are running it now and then are in the rich don't want a competition.
Yeah.
So they want to provide this dream, so you keep fighting for it and
it's
keep
like
voting
carrot
for policy.
just dangling just a little out of reach, and it will always stay a little out of reach. But you'll keep chasing, and they want you to keep believing that. It's kind of like these women that are voting that say they're okay if their vote gets taken away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you insane?
Yeah.
But they're all for it, and I'm like, you are not thinking.
But that's the tribalism, and that's just the fear that gets put into them. Like, I can't think for myself enough to vote. It's like, yes, you can. Stop selling yourself short. You're a tremendous slouch, Judge. So, Caddyshack.
I knew it was from something the way you said it. I didn't know what.
Yeah, it's a good show. So, but that's one example of this that gets misrepresented. Okay, let's we'll go one more serious and one that on a couple lighter ones. Okay.
I'm so tired today.
So another one that gets misrepresented a lot is the pro-life, pro-choice movement.
Oh no, you're not gonna laugh.
This is Olivia. Though she has yet to greet the outside world, she has already completed an amazing journey.
Let's talk about this creepy as Baby Olivia video that the right is forcing kids to watch. So this video was created by the pro-life group Live Action and is now, by literal law, required viewing in states across the country. The animated video brings you through baby Olivia's journey from fertilization right to before she tells her mother it's time to be born. Problem is, it's bullshit. Not only do the facts of this propaganda piece not line up with what doctors agree are developmental milestones for fetuses, the video is focused on anti-choice rhetoric and not actual science. Then there's the weird personification of the fetus, beyond giving it a name, saying things like it enjoys hearing music and things, and trying to make it cute is on purpose. The video's intention is to convince kids with their open, spongy brains to be anti-abortion. Before you get in the comments, yes, the video never mentions the A word, so how could it be anti-abortion? Because if they personify a fetus, then they convince the viewer abortion is murder and it should be illegal. They continue the right-wing anti-choice narrative that forces stigma and shame onto a medical procedure which can save lives. By fudging the timeline of developmental milestones and adding so much emotion to this video, we have to call this what it is: indoctrination.
This is Olivia.
I seriously fell asleep
Though
on
she
that.
has yet to
This is going to be a problem for this one. So, folks, I'm sorry for the content. It's going to be mostly me talking because Candy is in and out of consciousness.
I did. I literally fell asleep for a second.
Oh, man.
I know this is bad. I apologize. I'm so tired. I do not know what's going on. Okay, it's just been a long day. Okay, so I heard that this video is going to be watched by some people in public schools.
Yeah. So they're forcing kids in schools to watch this video. And what she's saying is that they've personified this animation and this baby and given it a name and
Olivia
emotions and reactions, saying that it enjoys listening to music and it does this. And
trying to make it very...
So it's definitely leaning to one side and really trying to make kids that watch this video feel like, oh, that is a baby.
That's a human being that you're,
So it's definitely leaning more to the
and it's also, that's a third trimester baby, if anything.
And the thing is there's
which is the rarest of abortions.
So much misinformation put out by the pro-life side of things that we have witnessed and seen. Okay, so first off, when you hear about abortions, it's always they go in with the
vacuum,
and they break it up, baby up into everything and suck it all out
and poison them and burn them inside.
So we're talking about probably third trimester.
Yeah, most abortions are done with a pill because they're a pile of cells at that point, right? And it can just flush the system out.
Most abortions are done before any distinguishable features are.
It's not. Yeah, it's cells still.
Once you get into
forming, and there is life happening. There's no doubt that there's life. There is life happening. But if you think about it, there is a life in the sperm. There's life in the egg, and they're separate. And then they're saying life starts when you put them together. Why doesn't life start before that? Yeah. And men, if they spill their seed, there's life that was aborted. Or a woman every month, life was aborted. You know, and it's like you could consider that abortion. You could consider that God's abortions because a woman can't control hers happening, right? But no, it's like once those two become together, now you've truly got life, which you had life before. Now it's forming a human being, which I will agree, a human being is potentially going to be formed from it. But it's cells at first. It's just multiplying of cells and multiplying of cells and multiplying of cells and creating something. But it's a lot different to flush cells. Yeah. And then show this picture.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me about the video you used to see. And it's like, oh, the baby feels everything when the abortion happens.
Oh, yeah. They made us watch what it looked like an abortion. It couldn't have been, actually. It was probably just all completely made up thing.
Yeah, probably animated of some sort, whatever, claymation.
It was like you could see like some sort of thing, I don't know, going in and the baby like seeing it and kind of trying to get away. And I'm like, where's it hiding? It's in a sack. You know, it's like, but in the video, it was, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. The baby that big and that developed, it has nowhere to move. No. So it's like, okay, now you're making stuff up. And then, there's the false narrative in that too, because it looks like a fully developed fetus, but yet it has all this room to dance around and move around in. It's like, that's not how gestation works. Once they start getting fully developed, there's no room to move around.
Not much room. No, and it's just, I don't know. And the thing is we're not like, go get an abortion, which some people would say that we are. You know, I've never had I did have a miscarriage at 16 weeks, but it was a miscarriage, but it got labeled as an abortion because that's what they call miscarriages on the medically. But also, it's like, just because we always chose to keep the pregnancy, you know, the children, the people I got pregnant with, doesn't mean there should be a law that says everybody else has to do that. You know, like you should have say over your own body. If you have say over who comes into your house, you should have say over who comes into your body. Yeah. You know, and whether they stay or not.
Well, that's not true because we have plenty of men that want to have plenty of say of who goes into your body. There's just government officials. God. Epstein list people.
Moving on.
Anyways, so there's all this. I remember that billboard we saw the one time too, where it was like, oh, look at this. This is a baby that has full-grown fingernails at 8 weeks or whatever it was on that poster. And then on the bottom, we caught it. And there's a little asterisk. Actually, this is and it was like a 16-week old picture, and fingernails don't really develop in here, but we were able to say 8 weeks because of this loophole of
there's a bunch of stuff underneath
of when pregnancy actually starts and all this. It's like, so you're purposely misrepresenting the whole.
It's like where they said fingerprints are seen at 8 weeks or something, and it's like the area where fingerprints will be. It was like maybe older than not 8 weeks, but it was like where the fingerprints will be might be starting. That area is starting. So it's like there is no fingerprints, but where they will be.
But it feeds into that side of the argument.
They'll bend it. They're manipulating. Yeah. And some people will say, well, they're manipulating it on the side of saving a life. Yeah. But here's the thing. It's not always saving a life. The mother's life is valuable too, right? And hers, you could argue, has more need at this time because she likely has other children.
Mm-hmm.
She likely has a partner. She likely has family that she helps with. And so she's needed in the environment. And you're just totally disregarding that. Like, let's save the baby at all costs. But also, sometimes these children that mothers have to make very, very hard decisions onto whether to keep them or not. It is more humane because the child is going to suffer the moment it's born and will die shortly after.
Yep.
And it's like, you can eliminate some of that suffering.
Yeah. We know people that have had abortions because of it was
certain
a non-viable fetus
yeah.
for whatever it was. It was still apparently, you know, okay, it appears to still be alive, but all its organs are on the outside of its body. So if it makes it to full term and is born, it's not going to survive.
No,
very
the
long.
trauma of seeing your child looking.
Yeah. We've known people that have given birth to babies that have died in utero. And it's like, that's so traumatic.
Yeah, it is.
To have to deal with that, sit there and be like, oh, there's
going through all the process of birth and knowing that your baby's not, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and that's hard on those mothers. That is hard. Women having to make, it is a difficult decision to decide to keep a baby, to abort a baby, to put a baby up abroad. All of those are difficult decisions. And why are we shaming the ones that they either, maybe they just are not financially, like, let's say they're someone who is like a drug addict living on the streets. What are they going to do with a child?
Yeah.
And now they're forced to, they've gotten themselves pregnant, or they've gotten pregnant by somebody, whether it was against their will or not. Now, because they're probably not making the greatest choices. So if they did it by their own will, they're not known to be making the greatest choices if they're on drugs or whatever. And so now they have this child, and this child is brought into this suffering. And then the same people who are claiming to be pro-life but are actually pro-birth now say, and you can't get government help for that child.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying this child that was likely unwanted or just unplanned for, and now you've brought this child in because you don't have any other options. You bring the child in, and now the child is just brought in to suffer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's insane to me that this is considered pro-life. It's not life.
No.
It's, whatever.
Yeah. It's
just they want to force a decision on us that where pro-choice is like, it's your body. You can decide.
Yeah.
Just like you can decide whether someone's allowed to come in your house and live there.
Yeah. And honestly, it doesn't affect anyone else but the person making the decision.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe those closest around them, but that's their business. It's their body.
Yeah.
It's not my job to say, hey, you're not allowed to. And and then people will say, but God. You know what? If your God's real, let God stop it or not.
And then,
like if they go to have an abortion, if God really is against it, God will stop the abortion without a human intervention.
And honestly, if you're believing in God, then you got to understand that God's probably the largest abortionist in the universe.
Probably, but that's not going to fly well with a lot of Christians. They're not going to believe that. But what they can at least agree with, he's powerful enough to stop an abortion, right? So why doesn't he? Why doesn't he stop the abortions unless it's legislated or somebody's dragging somebody out or shaming somebody out? Why doesn't he stop them? Why does he let them happen at all? Yep. Because maybe if he's real, he's not against it, or he's not real. I don't know.
Yep. All right, let's go over to our next topic that divides people, and it's the gay agenda.
Oh, Dan.
Gay agenda is a real thing. I'm a straight, middle-aged guy. I live in Tennessee.
Smoke a pack.
I own a construction company. Build houses for a living. Drive a big old pickup truck. And since I've been spending more time with my friend Marcus, who just happens to be gay, and all of his friends, I've seen some changes. Some things have kind of slowly made its way into my way of life.
What? Your house is cleaner and nicer.
I've got a 5-step skincare routine. I exfoliate 3 times a week.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry about the cigarette comment.
Patches under my eyes. I use Korean face masks every now and then. I even made an appointment to get microneedling next week. I mean, I'm 54 years old. I'm not supposed to have skin like this, but I do. Thanks to the gays. I used the word fit in conversation the other day instead of outfit when I was giving a man a compliment on his clothes. I said, "Hey man, nice fit." He looked at me like I had a third eye. I went to the mall. Marcus wanted to go. I needed to buy a belt. And while we were there, I bought 3 pair of straight leg pants that ironically don't have belt loops, 4 custom tailored fitted button up shirts, 2 packs of no-show socks, and a pair of brown leather sneakers. Yesterday, Marcus wanted to take me to this new store in town that sells nothing but handmade, custom curated soaps. A bougie, overpriced soap store. He said that I smell too straight. So we went, and when we got there, some girl named Susan gave us a TED talk on the benefits of lavender. And she asked me if I had a preferred fragrance, and I just said, I don't know, clean. And then Marcus picked out a soap for me called Moonlit Forest River. It's made with goat milk, eucalyptus, shea butter, activated charcoal, and Himalayan sea salt. So I used it this morning, and all day long, I've smelled like a lesbian-owned alpaca farm inside of a yoga studio in an old barn by a waterfall. My girlfriend Audrey loves it. I mean, she can't keep her hands off of me, but still. It should have been made out of platinum. It cost $42. Speaking of Audrey, since I've spent more time with Marcus, I've actually started listening and paying attention when she talks. These gays. Gay agenda is a real thing.
So, I'm a little lighter look at things there. With the gay agenda, we've been hearing that forever.
Mm-hmm.
That there's this gay agenda going out and getting pushed. And there's nothing to it.
Well, except for that, maybe.
Yeah, that was just a comedic look at it. Yeah.
But it's true. Like, hey, like a straight guy becoming a little more sensitive to his surroundings.
Yeah, or just,
and other people. Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, just different things in life. But there is no agenda. And you talk to any gay person, queer, any sort, whatever, and they're like, no, our agenda is just to be recognized and be allowed to live.
Yeah. Like if we want to be able to get married, just like a straight couple wants to get married. So if something were to happen, we can actually be in the hospital room with our partner without being told we're not family. Yeah. You know, we can make decisions as partner, you know, and there are also, they give benefits to people who are married, and they should get that too. Yeah. Because just because they love someone of the same, it's like, as long as you're adults, I don't see what the problem is with any of it. And it would be an easy line to say you have to be consenting adults.
Yeah.
Of sound mind or something, you know, because you can't force someone into it. But I don't think it'd be that hard. No. But yeah, the agenda there, that was funny.
And we hear so many just different things. I mean, just think of the things we heard about just the misconceptions.
The gay agenda too.
It's like, it was almost like, don't hang out with the gays or you're going to catch it.
Yeah. It was
thing.
like, or you'll start to think it's okay and then you'll just become gay, I guess. I don't know, because I didn't decide to be
straight.
I didn't go, am I going to like boys or girls? Like you just find yourself being attracted to a certain sex or even just certain people. I don't know. I'm not even attracted to all guys. There's certain guys that it would be like, oh, I find him attractive. I'm not attracted to him. But some other woman or guy would be like, he's attractive. You see what I'm saying? It's really, we're attracted to whoever we're attracted to. Yeah. And that is just, can we just leave it at that?
No, because it's unnatural and it's not Christ-like. And we had to change the Bible to make it fit our own ideals to say that homosexuality is wrong, because it doesn't really talk about homosexuality. It's talking about power struggles.
It's actually talking about probably pedophilia more.
Yeah.
That would be the thing. But yeah, apparently now you got legislation that's being put in place where people can marry 12-year-olds. Yeah. And it's like, that's disgusting.
It is.
So just because a girl has started, and it's never about boys marrying that much young.
No, it's about a grown-ass man.
It's a grown man trying to marry a girl.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, but yeah, you hear these stories about, they're trying to teach our kids to be trans in school. It's like, no, you can't teach a kid to be, what was it? I don't know if we put it on the episode or not, but we were talking about it where it was that one woman talking about, I think me and you were having a discussion. It was on a podcast I heard, and she was arguing against the trans agenda out there. She's like, well, I was a tomboy when I was little.
Oh, yeah, so we mentioned it on the podcast a little bit, I think.
So, yeah, if the teachers told me, since I was such a tomboy that I'm a boy now, well, then would I be a boy now because they convinced me of it? And the host of the podcast was like, that's not how this works. You're naive.
You've
bought in too much of the propaganda.
She is fallen for is... it's gender that is completely constructed, right? Yeah. This is how males dress. This is how women, females dress. Like, it's like men don't wear dresses in our culture.
Yeah.
That is what has happened, right? They did used to. It would be like dress considered like Jesus wore kind of a robe, like a dress thing, right? But that became taboo at some point, and now men wear pants and women. Now they're trying to push women back into just dresses all the time, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. But just because she didn't probably want to wear dresses and she liked to play soccer or softball or whatever it was, therefore that in no way would have made her think she didn't feel like she was in the wrong body. She liked the clothing. She liked the style. Maybe she liked what boys did. They got to climb trees and didn't have to act prim and proper like maybe the girls around her had to. That's what that has nothing to do with being transgender. No, it's not.
It's just a complete misconception of what's going on, and just falsities being put out and people buying into it completely. Yeah. Let's do one more video and then we'll wrap this up. Okay.
Hang on.
We're hanging.
We really need to get a longer cord for this because I don't like having to I want to be able to lounge.
Yes, we know. We've seen you on the videos.
I think gender-neutral bathrooms are a great thing that we're doing in our world. A lot of people disagree, though. I had a friend, and he's like, I don't know. If anyone go to the bathroom, what if a transgender pedophile pees next to my little princess? I was like, first of all, if she looks anything like you, that won't be a problem. Second of all, you think that pedophiles have been stopped all these years by the gender sign? Pedophiles, big rule followers. They're like, I'm a law-abiding citizen first and a pedophile second. All right. You think they see your daughter go in the bathroom and they're like, my dick says yes, but the sign says no. I'm only a pedophile where the government allows. All right. Like in the government. It's on YouTube, people. Look it up.
So apparently Candy didn't find that humorous.
I just go into what he's describing, the scene, and how disgusting it is. But, it's not that he wasn't funny. It was
we hear that about, I don't want, some guy coming into the bath. It would be happening anyways. If someone wanted to go into the women's restroom and have their way with a little girl or a little boy or whatever it may be, they would, but they don't, because it's usually middle of the day, bright, open spots. It's not how this works.
No, but now they've set it up so it's more likely to happen because someone could just say, I'm a trans woman. Or I'm a trans, they could say I'm a trans man and walk into, we don't want people to use the bathroom that they identify with. So they have to use the woman's bathroom. So now a person can walk in and say, I'm a trans man. So I was labeled woman or female at birth, but I look like a man because I'm a man, but I have to use this bathroom. That is what a pedophile could do now and get away with it.
But
they set that up, though, because they don't let them use the bathroom that is appropriate for them, really.
It's still wide open.
It doesn't matter. You can actually get a man walking into the woman's bathroom.
It'd be like me saying, okay, I want to rob my neighbor, so I'm going to do it in the middle of the day when they're at home.
No, and I agree with you. I agree that the chances are slim because of broad daylight. But what I'm saying now is conservatives have set it up so that it is more likely to happen, or at least there's more potential for it happening during broad daylight because now a trans man cannot use the man's restroom. So I'm saying a straight pedo can say, oh, I'm a trans man, and walk into the girl's bathroom, and people can't do anything about it because they've made it weird. They've made it very weird and strange.
But I'm thinking you're missing some of the, because a lot of times you went into the bathroom with our kids, and if you saw someone in there that was acting inappropriate to our children, you aren't going to let that go in, whether they're trans or straight or...
I am understanding. Yeah. I do get that part. But what I'm trying to say is when they started with all this bathroom stuff, because there was no problem before. It was like if a transgender man identifies with the man's bathroom, he's going to walk in there no problem, except for the threat that might be to him. I don't know if there's a bigoted man that's in there and finds out and has a, I don't know. But also vice versa, a transgender woman can walk into the women's bathroom because those are just stalls, use the bathroom, walk out, no problem. But conservatives didn't want that.
No.
So they fought it, and now they're like, no, you have to use what you were assigned at birth. So now transgender people have to go there. And what's going to really happen is transgender people aren't going to use the bathroom at all because they don't feel safe.
That's why they started going to the unisex bathrooms, because it's...
some places have, yes.
And which is, I think, is fine. To it, because it's a private stall, completely blocked off, nothing going on.
Which I like those bathrooms.
And you're washing hands with everybody, but it's...
There's ones that you don't even wash hands with there. You get your own little, your own little bathroom.
Yeah, but you're doing your business in all of them, you're doing your business by yourself in a completely closed off.
Which, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a huge deal.
It's probably more expensive for a company to put them in, but...
Honestly, I don't think so, because... If you put in that and put all the toilets you needed and combine them into one room, now you don't have separate walls, separate things. It's all the same.
Well, I'm thinking of that grocery store that it's all completely separate. You have your sink, your toilet, everything in a door, and they just built tons of them.
Yeah, they built like 8 or 9 of them. So, and it works out well. I like them a lot better because, you got your little privacy and do whatever you want by yourself. Anyways, but it's this whole thing that got pushed out. And I guess to kind of wrap this all up in all these videos and tie them together, this is all the misinformation put out to keep propagating the fear. So what's happening is last week we had the division. But now we got to keep the division and we got to build upon that. So we start putting fear into all these people and feeding it into them and saying, this is why you need to be scared of this tribe over here, because they're trying to force this on you. So this transgender person is going to try to do this, and we got to protect our kids from abortionists because the babies, because who in their right mind is going to be like, oh, yes, I want to harm a little baby, innocent baby. But when we personify fetuses and make them seem like they're full-grown, functioning adults that are smiling and laughing and listening to music and associating in utero.
They know what they're doing. It's a marketing tactic to get you on one side, which would mean you're on one party, which would get you to vote a certain way, which means the money can flow that direction and the power can flow that. It's all a scheme so that you will not think for yourself and vote for yourself. And,
because what happened, because you divide it in here and you start feeding this material, now all of a sudden these people just listen to this. And I think about people, the Fox News listeners, and that's all they ever listen to. And it's like, you guys got shit so misconstrued in your head that you're not even, your critical thinking skills have gone. You're just getting brain fed by whatever.
And you think you know everything. It's the
same thing as the religious mindset when you're in a bubble. and you start talking about, well, this is what atheists say. And it's like, how do you know? You never talk to any atheist. You don't have debates with them or conversations. You don't know what they believe. I saw a video the other day where this woman's like, okay, atheist, you trying to tell me you don't believe in Satan as your God? Well, that's impossible because my God is Jesus and God. And if you don't believe in him and you're saying that he doesn't exist, then you are following Satan's teachings. It's like, I don't believe any of that shit. So no, I don't believe Satan. Yeah.
And I will say, to be fair here, it's on the opposite side too, because if you're just watching like, I don't know, CNN or something that's very left leaning all the time, you're going to think all the people that are conservatives are bigoted, racist, sexist. And a lot of them, there is that going on over there, but a lot of them don't realize that the teachings, if they thought them through, they don't think them through. What they are is like, a lot of times either they're brainwashed into it, into thinking like, or they're just one vote or one issue voters. Like, I don't have time, because they're burdened down with all this stuff too. And they're like, I don't have the time or the energy to look into every issue and to look into every candidate. So I'm going to vote one issue. And the thing is, we all got to protect the babies because they're the most innocent, right? So they will go that route and they will feel like they did the right thing. And they will feel like they're loving and kind. Because I will say, like, when I was a kid, I did not ever think that someone in a different race was less than me, ever. That thought never crossed my mind. So I wasn't taught that stuff. However, there is racism taught in Christianity in different ways, different sects of Christianity. And I saw it pop up in other people as I grew up. And we're in a culture where it still was going on. I just wasn't aware of it. But I will say, like, I was a Christian. And if someone would have said that I was a racist, I would have said, absolutely, I am not. But did I have some racist beliefs? Probably, because it was being taught to me in my system that I was in. So to call someone a racist, all that's going to do is put up their defenses, and they're not going to listen to anything else because they don't see that way at all. And it's not that they are racist. They don't understand that they are holding to some racist beliefs or some sexist beliefs or some bigoted beliefs. And I think that it's not just on one side. I think it's all over the place. But religion, and we can only talk from the Christian point of view, evangelical point of view, really. It's subtle, and it's more concentrated in certain types. Like, I'm seeing now, like, there's different churches than even I was in that were way more into some of those things. Or, and I've been around people who claim to be Christians today, and they do have strong prejudice against people of different, skin color or whatever. Definitely there was a gay agenda thought. There was definitely prejudice towards LGBTQ. I will say I did recognize that. And bought into some of it when I was younger, for sure, because I didn't know any better. I was stayed in that bubble. And once that bubble was popped or I stepped outside of it, that's when it bursts. And it's like, oh, wait, they're just people like me. They're not my enemy. These are, I know somebody who's this. I know somebody who's that. I know. And that's how the division gets broken, is you have to get up and get to know others.
That's what we'll get into next week. We've taken you to the brink. We separated you. We've indoctrinated you with fear and propaganda to keep pushing you apart and seeing the other person as an enemy that's going against your common sensibilities that have been played on by the people.
We have not done that. We have pointed out that it has been done.
We've done a masterful job in pointing this out. Thank you very much for recognizing this, even though my co-host may not. But let's go to the other extreme next week and see
how we can solve it
when we start breaking down these walls of division and start coming together and seeing the commonalities and focusing on the likeness and seeing how we can make each other better and bring us all together. We'll do that next week on the Dan and Cam podcast. If you're following on YouTube, please give us a like, follow, and subscribe.
You can speed this part up because he says the same things every week. So just put it on 2-speed.
So in case you haven't watched, we're on...
Stop watching, stop talking so slow.
Dan and Cam.
They know what to do. Go down below click the things, smash the like button.
So when we first started this, you're like, you have to make sure you mention this
every
every
have to do
episode.
this long spiel at the end every time. It's too long.
We'll talk about this after we hit the closed off button. You don't like it, but we need to do it. Follow, like, and subscribe. We'd appreciate that greatly.
I mean, yes,
if you're listening on a streamer, give us 5 stars. That helps push us out and move us and get us going out to everything. And if you want to reach out to us, go down in the description, dannycan.com. You can get a hold of us, email, send us videos, and all that good stuff.
That? Okay.
So click on that, and we'd be happy to oblige on all that. And now I have to inform Candy on how to run a podcast business. So we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.